Welcome back everyone. Today we're in the Giants editor and I'm Jewel, and as you can see we're on the Jewel's Peaceful Valley map, and you can't really see all the buildings, they're way over there, but if you look back in the playlist there's quite a few and quite a lot been done, so check it out. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I appreciate all the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Stay tuned for more tutorials on Giants editor work and gameplay through simulator games. So I have a lot of that on the channel. So check out the playlist. So we're gonna get started. There's gonna be a bridge here on this little water area, and then it's gonna come across. So I'm probably gonna run it straight to at least here, and we're gonna have a waterfall. Hopefully over here. You'll see all that later. You can look back and see some of the stuff late in the big early stages of my channel. Uh, so let me see where I'm gonna be like landing. So either way, the building's gonna come, the road's gonna come here. So we're just gonna throw something in temporary. I'm gonna adjust it later. I'm just basically getting it in there because I want something over here as a sell point to have something on this corner where, because I don't have a whole lot over here. Got that, and that's kind of it. So I want a sell point in this corner. So I'm putting a restaurant because it's going to be near a waterfall, so people's going to be eating and then going to see the waterfall. So I figured that'd be a good thing to put here. So it's a sell point, you know. So what we're going to do is just use this little area here as the area that we make it on, and then they'll go up and whatever. We'll make other things around here, but we're going to mostly have farmland out here. So this is going to be just a little restaurant they're trying to get rich off of by using the waterfall as a tourist attraction. So, and it's also a sell point for the farmers, of course. So anyway, this road's going to come across, so I guess I could make it look like it came across. It doesn't have to be perfect, and I'm not trying to be perfect. Like I said on this episode, just giving us an idea. Basically, there's going to be a road. So now, none of that. That's just sitting there. Don't worry about none of that nonsense. Those houses and things ain't going to be there. So that's all irrelevant stuff. This is all irrelevant. Don't worry about none of that right now. Okay? That'll be moved. We're not worried with it. The road will be fixed. Don't worry about none of that. We're just going to throw that building in right here. So what I'm going to do is take this level, hit the sculpt mode on, Control R to get the numbers. If you don't know how to use the replace, you hit it on replace. If you hover over the certain level of the spot you want to make it like that all the way across, then you hit Control R as in Richard, and it'll give you the numbers for that level. Then it'll stay at that level. So now it's going to stay at the level I hit it at, and I'm going to be able to make us an area that I'm going to put my building. I'm going to come a little further because I'm going to probably have something across the street from it, and I don't want to go too far back into the mountain. So, and we'll slope anything where the road's going to be. The road will be dealt with later, so but get all that, okay? Don't panic. Don't be like, oh no. It's okay. Alright. So now we have an area to put it. It's going to be here. The road will be dealt with, remember. And we can slope this right here. And it'll be a road when we get ready to do it. Everything will be situated. We're going to adjust everything. Everything will be right when we get ready. Okay? So don't panic about all that. Smooth these edges. We can smooth, just to get it down. There we go. So we're going to put it on this side of the road. I may make it go back a hair bit more here. Not much. Not much. Just a little. We might have a parking lot, like I say. We don't want to go far. We're going to slope all that. Clean it up. We're holding down the right mouse button with it being on smooth, and the other one, the left mouse button's on replace, as you can see. So now we're ready to go. We got a spot. We're happy. Everything's golden, right? So now we're going to go ahead and click File, Import, go to D drive. In my case, and yours might be on C drive, and if you're new to the channel, it may be under Program Files 86, and then maybe Steam, if that's where you installed your game. I really don't know where you installed your game. I don't know if it's even on Steam. if you have yours on Steam. So go to Steam Apps, Common, and then whatever farming sim you have, data, and so on. Mine's in D drive, Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Farm Sim 22, data. In this case, placeables, lizard, selling points, and we're going to go to the restaurant, open it up, and click on restaurant and click open. And we're going to come on in, and now we're going to hit Control B as in boy, left mouse click, left mouse click. And make sure when you click on the left mouse click, you don't hit this little button, little dot in the middle, because it changes the scale. The building's going to change size, and you don't really want that. Unless you're doing something custom, I wouldn't fool with that. If you accidentally do, just look up here to this little undo button, this arrow, and click it, left click it, and hopefully you back up to where it was right at scale 1. So now that we have that in there, we can look at it and just see how it looks. That's where our pizza place is. It's a pizza place, which is great. I'm sure the tourists would love it. It's got all these nice chairs in there. It's a really nice place, I have to say. I think it's beautiful and wonderful. So, gotta decide which way we're gonna face it. I'm probably gonna face it this way. I got a sell point here, and it'll be facing like so. So what I'm gonna do is slide it over a little away from there. We're gonna make sure you click on the blue line, slide it back a little. Let's see, somewhere along here. The road will be here, so we figure roughly. So we should be far enough away from the road. It'll be fine. Everybody's going to drive around. If we have to flatten anything, we will. It's not that big a deal. They can come around. We'll have a parking spot, plenty of room. We can change all that later. I'm just showing you the basics of getting it in. And since we did Control B, it's pretty much at the level it needs to be. You don't really need to change the height. But if you had to, up or down a little, you could. Just watch what you're doing, because this has to be able to register the trigger. So, now that we have that highlighted, this is called the parent group, and it's also called a transform group, and sometimes I call it the main transform group. That's just my dog. And so then if you open this is called the children. So this is the parent up here, the main group. With that highlighted, leave it there. We're going to go and get the information we need. We're going to go to the File Explorer. Back to D drive, Steam Library, Steam Apps, or you go to C drive, wherever yours is, Common, FarmSim22, Data. In this case, we're not going to go to Placeables. We're going to go to Maps, Maps US, go to Placeables, XML, Document, Edit with Notepad++. In this case, they don't have the one that we're doing. Like some of these I've done, if you've seen other tutorials I've done, some of these already have the line of information because it's in the Elm Creek and they already have it here, and you just copy that line and go paste it in. But in this case, we got to kind of build it ourselves a little bit. Okay, so in this case, we're going to pick one that has most of the information we did, which is data, placeables, lizard, selling points. Then we had something here, which would have been the restaurant, okay, which is the pizza place, a different pizza place. We already did a pizzeria, but this is a different pizza place called a restaurant. So in this case, we're going to take this line of information here because it's got most of what we're going to need, but we can change the debris crusher to the restaurant name in all these spots. So we're just going to left click at the end of this and make sure we get it all. Left click, hold it over, hold it down, slide it over, right click, hit copy, close this, minimize. Well, we didn't have to minimize that one. Let's go back to the File Explorer, Documents, My Games, double clicking all these, Farming Simulator 22, double click, Mods, double click, the map name, double click, and go to the XML or the Maps, Maps US, and then the Placeables folder. Wherever your Placeables XML is, that's where you go. Right click on it, edit with Notepad++, come in here, slide over, click at the end of these, this line here, or if you're doing it and you don't care and you're going to the bottom of the list, go down to here, not the very last one, but click in front of it here, on this last one, not that one. This is the final, and this one's the final. That makes sense? We don't want to put it on the final. That's just my name I gave it. So you could hit enter and it would give you a space. Then you would right click and click paste. But I'm going to put it up here because I like it, the thinner lines to stick together and so on. So we're going to click it here, enter, right click and click paste. I'm going to space this over till it lines up with those, not worried about anybody else. We're going to click the file name over, but we really don't need to right yet because we need to change the name of this. What we're going to do is go back to the file manager or explorer, whichever you call it in your case, and go to back to where we were. D drive, Steam libraries, Steam apps, common, FS22 data, and in this case we're going to go to placeables, lizard, selling points, restaurant. And restaurant is where we're going to be wanting it to what we want it to say. So we're going to click on this one and click it again and see. Once you left click it the second time, as long as it's not double clicking it, if it's just click, it'll do this. And don't delete that or change it. You're just going to right click on it and copy it. If you change it, you've messed up your main game. So if you don't want to mess your main game up, then just write it down on a piece of paper if you're not sure how to spell it and go paint and type it in. Okay? So what we're going to do, I'm going to lower this. We're going to put right here the thing we just copied where it says restaurant. And right here where it says debris crusher, we're going to put restaurant. And right here where it says debris crusher, we're going to put restaurant. And the reason I'll show you in a minute why. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do it. Left click between the quotation marks, let go, right click and paste because it says restaurant. Okay, now we can space this over to match. Then we'll come over here and highlight this one just in between the forward slash. Right click on it and paste. Then we're going to go between this and the dot, the forward slash and the dot, period. Right click and click paste. Now we have the right path. Now we can space this position over if we want, leave the rotation for later. Come back to the file manager or explorer, whichever you want to call it, and you'll see the path you need. As soon as we get this in here, let's roll this down to get this up. Alright, so now it says data, placeables, lizard, data, placeables, lizard, selling points, restaurant, selling points, restaurant. It's got the capital P. We got all that right. The spelling is right. And then restaurant XML document. See, it says XML document, restaurant.xml. So now we know we got the right path. See, that's what you do. And make sure it's all spelled correctly. Minimize. Now you could hit save or wait till you do your numbers. We'll go ahead and do our numbers since we're here, and then we'll worry about the store item. Come back in here with that highlighted. Make sure the main group, the parent's highlighted, and you're finished moving it. You're happy with where you moved it. Click in the Translate X box at the end of the numbers. Hit Shift Control and C as in cat. Go back to the Notepad++, and in the position area, which is also the translate area, because they just changed the name for some reason, I don't know why, right click and click paste in between the quotation marks. Then you can roll over, and if you need to move this rotation, if it's not lined up, you can line it up, but you don't have to, excuse me. And then we're going to minimize and go to Giants Editor again, and at the end of the rotate X, at the end of the numbers, hit Shift Control and C as in cat, and go back to the Notepad++, and in between the quotation marks, right click and click paste where the rotation is. Hit save, and you're done with that. Now all we're going to need in a minute, is this restaurant and restaurant word. The rest of the words will all be there for our store item, but we're going to go and minimize this and go back to the file manager or explorer, whichever you prefer. Documents, my games, FS22, mods, the map name. Go to your store items, right click, and edit with Notepad++. We already have these in here that have the lizard stuff to it, so we're going to copy one of them to make our life so much easier. We're going to highlight it, copy it, and hit enter at the end and right click and click paste. Now all we need to do is change the BHP on this line to say restaurant. So you can either do it if you know how to spell it perfectly, or if you're scared that you might just make a typo or something, then you can go back, like I said, to where it was. Excuse me. Theme libraries, theme maps, common, and FS22 data, placeables, lizard, and I go through this over and over again to get you used to the path, selling points, and restaurant. And then you can click on this one, and then click on it again, right click and copy, not cut, left click off of it, minimize, and come in here, and only in between these forward slashes for this one, left click, hold down, then drag over, then right click on the highlighted area and hit paste. Left click here, drag over, let go, right click, paste, and now you have it. Then you can hit save, and again we're going to go to the file area and show you that it matches. Data, placeables, lizard, selling points, data, placeable, lizard, selling points. It's got the capital P. You got to have it match. It's got to be lowercase or capital accordingly. Restaurant, restaurant, restaurant XML, restaurant XML. So this we'll call this, and this we'll call the image because we're in the store items one. If we're in the placeables one, and you're on this, and you call this data, placeables, lizard, selling points, restaurant, restaurant XML, it's going to go data, placeables, lizard, selling points, restaurant, restaurant XML. If you open this, right click and edit with Notepad++, it's going to say, hey, go open that i3D, because it says go to data, placeables, lizard, selling points, restaurant, restaurant i3D. So what that means is this right here is calling this i3D, okay? And it's calling whatever else is in there that it tells it to go get. So if there's something else in there, it tells it to go get it, the icon and whatever else, and it's saying the props and things. So whatever it's going to get, it's going to be from the XML, and you're going to call it from there. So that's what it's doing. And here's the image. It's telling it to go, once this store where your store items are, it's going to tell it to read this XML. See, restaurant XML, that's where we sent it. It's going to say, oh, well, here's the image. Data, placeables, lizard, selling points, restaurant, store, underscore, restaurant, dot, PNG. It's going to go call it. Well, how's that going to happen? It's right here. So it's going to go data, placeables, lizard, selling points, restaurant, and store, underscore, restaurant, the image. Okay? The PNG. So that's how it does it. It's calling all these things. And I'm just explaining it for those who don't know. So now we're going to come back in here, and you got two choices. You can delete this building, and hit save, or put it in placeholders folder. I prefer a placeholders folder. The reason for a placeholders folder, and everyone else that's already seen these knows, it hides this building, so that in game you only see the building you just added to your placeables XML that calls the XML for the restaurant, that calls the i3D for the restaurant. All that calls everything for the main game because of the XML that you put it in the placeables XML. So we want it to call by XML in the game. So the one in game is going to be from XML. This column from the main game, the one we just showed you all the paths for. This one is in the Giants editor, and if we don't delete it or put it in the placeholders folder, we'll have two buildings in the game. We'll have this one and the one that's in the XML that's calling the i3D from the main game. We don't want that. We only want one, so we want the XML one. So we're going to either delete this and hit save, and we're good, but then we won't have it in here in the Giants editor, and we won't be able to see where the building is to decorate around it. So we want to leave it in there, so we're going to put it in a placeholders folder. And if you don't have a placeholders folder, then you need to make one. You can right click and click collapse to get it, collapse all that stuff down to get to where you're going. And here's the placeholders folder I made, and if you don't know how, check my playlist out. I have a video on it. You need to watch that. It don't take long. You can make it really quickly. Once you make that folder, come here and click on the restaurant. Make sure the whole parent is selected. Hit the middle scroll wheel. Hold it down. Do not let go. Push the mouse up to make this slide up until you get to the placeholders folder, and then let go of the middle scroll wheel. Open it up. You can roll down till you get to the building, and there it is. Now you can either hit save or move your career start point. Click on your career start point if you want. Control B, left mouse click, spin it around to point the arrow at the building. That's what we'll see when we come in the game, and then hit save. If you don't have the placeholders folder and you've already decorated around the building and you really don't care if the building gets deleted from the Giants editor, then hit delete and hit save and or move your career start point and then hit save. And then you can go in the game. We're ready to go. Now we're going to go in the game, check it out. But anyway, I hope everybody's enjoying these tutorials. I'm trying to keep it to the point. I don't like to just waste a bunch of time. I'm trying to give you just the information you need and get on with it. So that, because sometimes they drag out and I don't want the video to drag out. So I hope you enjoy. Please hit that subscribe button. It means a lot. Helps the channel grow. Helps others get to see it. It pushes the videos up in the algorithms and I appreciate it. So we're going to go ahead and load up. It shouldn't take too long. But I thank everybody. And like I say, please hit subscribe. Channel's growing quickly. I'm on my way to 1,000. I hope you can help with that. I hope this video helps and other videos that I've done will help, and ones I will do will help in the future. So please hit the like button and share the video with your friends. And if you have a Discord, share it in there. I'd appreciate it. I thank everybody. And hopefully I can get on and we get this map rolling along, get to the roads, get everything done. I have some more stuff coming. I have a lot of videos that you've probably already seen by the time you get to this one, so hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to look back in the playlist. I have simulator gameplay, so you can watch different things. Farming Simulator, Trailer Life Simulator, Ranch Simulator, Gold Rush the game, so much more. Check those out, watch those, and I appreciate it. Now we can jump in the game, and we'll be almost through. So now, there you go. You got your icon, you got your building. We're right here. Apparently I didn't save it, or I didn't paint it. Did I paint it? I don't think I saved it if I did paint it. Yeah, you can hear the people talking too. They got that. That's calling from the XML. So they made it like it's a real restaurant, people talking. And then here's the spot you dump and sell point, and you're all set. But that's it, and then you can hit escape, and you'll see. I'm gonna drag over where you can see all these. I'm trying to spread them out. I got all these over here. We need one over here. We kind of need maybe something over here, but now we got this over here. So see, I'm trying to spread it out. I might put one over here. We'll see what happens. I don't know what I have, but here it says restaurant, and you can hit visit, and there you go. You're right at the building. So that's pretty much going to be it. I don't think I painted any kind of ground. I forgot. I usually try to paint a parking lot, but just temporary. We're not ready to start doing anything, and this stuff is just temporary stuff in the way. We're not worried with any of that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your notification bell if you want to receive a notification every time I post a video. Goodbye, everybody.